SSNG.
Octane Street.
I'm a girl at
Welcome to I Cook You Cook. Today we're making blackened tilapia with a spicy cream white wine mustard sauce. Let's get started. So today we're going to be making a blackened tilapia. What I have here is 2 fillets of tilapia, and what we're going to be doing pretty much is getting our tilapia seasoned so we can go ahead and get it blackened. I'm going to be using a little bit of crushed red pepper along with salt and black pepper and a little bit of paprika. So let's go ahead and get this sprinkled on, and you want to do this to both sides, black pepper and paprika. Because you do it on both sides, you want to make sure you're not over seasoning your tilapia. And we're going to flip this and do it to the next side. And you also want to add a little bit of olive oil on top of this, just to help the flavor in there some. And however you do it, just rub it in. So I have my tilapia fillets seasoned. I'm going to set them in the refrigerator, and I'll be back in a little bit once I get cleaned up.
so love on your chest, baby. Make me feel like a king tonight.
Alright, so I have my tilapia in the fridge now, just sitting for a little bit. What I'm going to do in the meantime is, you can already see that I have my pot boiling. I'm going to go ahead and get my carrots and my broccoli boiled. My water is ready, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in my carrots. And while my carrots are boiling in the bottom, I'm going to actually steam my broccoli, but I'm going to give it a little bit before I throw the broccoli in. So we'll set that down in the meantime. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes since my carrots have been in, so I'm going to go ahead and add my broccoli now so I can have it steamed. Get our broccoli thrown in here. It's probably going to go for about another 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to get my saucepan ready for my basic ingredients to get my cream going, my cream sauce going. So what I have are chopped up onions, bell peppers, and garlic. I'm going to saute all of this in a stick, not a stick, but a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to get that added. You want to let your butter melt. And we're going to wait a little bit for that to heat up before we get our cream sauce ingredients added. In the meantime, we're going to be using mustard, creamer, and some white wine. So that's pretty much melted. I'm going to go ahead and throw in all of this to saute. My garlic in, red onions, and my bell peppers. So it's sauteing quite nicely. I'm going to add another tablespoon of butter. Let's get that added. Okay. Now while this sautés, it's been about 7 minutes. It's time for us to go ahead and take our broccoli and carrots off. So I got my broccoli and carrots drained. What I want to do is add a tablespoon of butter to this, and we're going to shake that around. And I'll cover it for a little bit just so it can melt and come back and stir it around. We're going to set this on the back burner. Onions seem to be sauteing quite nicely. What I'm going to do now is add a little bit of mustard to this. Okay, and let's go ahead and stir this in. We're going to add our cream. It's good. I like the color of that. And we're going to let that simmer for a little bit before we go ahead and add our white wine. And today's white wine we're using is sauvignon blanc. You know, it's dry, it has a little bit of fruit undertones to it. It's a good wine to cook with. And when it comes to cooking with wines, you pretty much want to use whatever you drink. Never buy that cooking wine. Just, if you're going to pour it in a glass, pour it in a pot, pretty much. While that sits, my butter looks melted. I'm going to go ahead and swirl my carrots around with my butter. There we go. The rest of our water actually drained off in the meantime. Vegetables are ready, and my sauce is coming along. Alright, so I'll let my mustard and a half and half creamer along with my cut up onions and bell peppers saute for a little bit. It's real nice and creamy right now. I love the flavor and the consistency. Oh yeah, that's good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper to this. Let's go ahead and get some black pepper in. There we go. And it's time for me to add my white wine to that as well. And that looks exceptional. Let's pour this in. I'm not sure how much wine I'm adding just yet, but there we go. And we're going to stir that on in. And I want to say that's about 2 ounces of white wine that I poured in. And we're going to let this cook down a little bit more. And pull it off the heat and it should be ready to go. Taste that one more time. Most def. Most def. Okay. My vegetables, they're done. I have my broccoli and my carrots just sitting off the heat. Didn't add any salt to this earlier. To my broccoli, but I did to the carrots. So I'm gonna do a dash of salt atop my broccoli. So that looks good. I'm gonna leave this to simmer. I think I can go ahead and get my sweet potatoes ready. So I'll be back in a sec. So I'm going to go ahead and get my sweet potatoes shelled. And we can start mixing up some mashed sweet potatoes. And these are hot. Woo! So this is a new one on I Cook, You Cook. My sweet potatoes, I baked them. When I cut it open, they were actually a little bit lighter than what I was used to seeing inside. It was more of a white color, not so much a dark red or orangish color. At taste level, it wasn't necessarily the most pleasing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show that to you. This is what my sweet potatoes look like. Now they smell okay, but they don't taste all that good. Now I'm not that familiar with sweet potatoes looking this yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and 86 sweet potatoes. I'll show you how I do sweet potatoes another show. And on the fly, we'll go ahead and get some rice going. Now the good thing about what we're doing today is we can actually do our meal with rice or potatoes. And I'm cooking some jasmine rice. 2 cups to be exact. And I'm going to go ahead and get this done on the fly so we can still be on mark with the rest of our ingredients. I have not cooked the fishes yet. Once my rice is about ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and get the fish blackened and we'll be ready to serve. So hang tight until my rice cooks and I'll be back. That's I Cook, You Cook, cook it on the fly. Alright, so my rice is pretty much all the way cooked through. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tilapia on the stove and get it blackened. I'm adding a tablespoon and a half of butter here along with a mixture of olive oil. I think these two will help my tilapia to cook through and give you a nice dark brown color when I get done. Okay. And that's hot and it's smoking. So pop my tilapia in. Yeah. Pop that in.
But if you have a baby girl that still brings joy, this loving.
These are sizzling. I'm gonna go ahead and get these turned. Try not to get burnt. And that looks really good on the first side. Nice brown and blackened. I can't wait to get these off. And we'll let this go for another 3 minutes on this side and we'll be ready to serve.
Nah, they're not sure. I may not feel like sing tonight. Turn off the lights, baby. Let's reunite.
Alright, so when the tilapia's been in for about 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off the heat and leave it on there off the heat for the next minute. That'll give me enough time to plate and serve with this coming fresh off the hot pot. Now let me grab my plate so we can go ahead and get our plating going. And we gotta move fast because we don't want to dry out our tilapia. And it's sizzling over here. Get my rice off. Fresh hot rice. Love the look of that. And you know we're gonna do our regular plating technique. So until we can get things looking real nice on the plate. So we get everything put together, and then we'll be right back. The rice looks really good right now. I'm going to get my tilapia placed on top. And this thing is steaming hot. Just go ahead and lay that right there nicely. I had to warm my veggies up real quick. I like them nice and steamed. And we're just going to place this down just so on the plate. And that looks really good. Nicely done. Get our spicy mustard, white wine sauce in here. And I'm just gonna lay this right on top of my fish. And this sauce smells really good. I poured in a little bit of wine at the last minute. And let me tell you, the aromas of this white wine and this mustard mixed together is really doing it for me. And last but not least, we're gonna garnish our veggies with a little bit of lemon juice. And we're gonna get a little bit of lemon juice right on top. It looks awesome. Can't wait to taste. Let me get me a fork. I'm hungry. I'm rushing. I'm just like, let's eat. This looks really good. Can't wait to dig in. Our tilapia is nice and blackened. Our butter and olive oil did it really well. Cooked in about 6 minutes, about 3 minutes per side. Get one good bite out of this. It's really good. Couldn't even talk for a second. Our white wine really did the mustard and cream really well. Our tilapia came out nice and blackened and crispy on the edges. Our rice was a good comeback from our potatoes not turning out. So overall, this is an excellent meal. I enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me on I Cook You Cook. This was a great challenge. I love the fact that we were able to get everything done in time and get it done right. And take care.
Girl that just stepping on me yard, my chest feel broad, and I can hear the slippers them a flop. And now me hear me lick the door and knock. Feels good, me feel good for me, baby. And love done my chest lady, make me feel like a king tonight. And me a lock off my phone, nah then the show, got me no feel like sing tonight. Turn off the lights for E-Day. Let's reunite, baby. Under candlelight, make me do the thing, princess. Say you want a boy, but if you have a baby girl, that still brings joy. This love ain't no toy. I want the most I play.